Whether you are an industry expert or simply want to know more about how to redecorate your house, you've come to the right place. There are a lot of factors affecting whether horizontal extension is feasible or not. We have to consider whether the foundation is independent with the original foundation. For the low-rise building, new independent pad footing might be enough. However, movement joints shall still be provided in between to accommodate the differential movements and settlement. Other considerations, including whether the density has exceeded any government requirements. Also, we shall consider whether there is enough capacity for the existing building services installation to support the new extension building. Last but not least, we shall consider the circulation connecting with the original building bulk and the new extension building, such as adding new bridges or allow some openings at the external wall to connect two buildings together. For the vertical extension, the considerations are similar with the horizontal extension. We have to consider whether the existing structure is able to accommodate the loading of the new structure on top of the original structure. For example, we have to consider the bearing capacity of the existing column and foundation, whether there are need for structural strengthening works. And also we shall consider the connection details between the original structure, such as the column head, to the new structure. Especially the materials of the new structures is different. For example, the original building we are using the concrete, while the new one we are using the steel. Then we have to consider detailing about the connection, how it works. Concern of additional story. Firstly, we have to consider the planning aspects. It refers to the height restrictions, also the gross floor area restrictions, etc. And secondly, we should also consider the lease control, that means whether it is contractually viable to increase those floor areas. Thirdly, it affects the fundamental issues of building control as well, because it affects the density and also it might affect the means of escapes and also lighting and ventilation or barrier-free access controls, etc. One of the structural concerns is that whether the existing load bearing capacity is enough. Even though there are some safety factors, we have to consider the existing design. For example, if the existing building with only 2 stories, if you're adding 1 more story, then the loading increases by 50% of the original design. If the existing building with 10 stories, if you add 1 more story, then only 10% extra on the loading, then it might be allowable in the safety factor with additional structure strengthening works. Apart from structure strengthening works, we can also reduce the loading applying on floor. For example, using the lightweight material such as lightweight concrete block wall or some metal structures to reduce the dead load of the construction itself. Composite flooring system means lightweight reinforcing concrete casting on profile steel stacking. A lot of advantages of using this system. For example, the installation is fast. It reduces the use of formwork, and also due to its fast installation, it can provide a working area during the construction earlier, so it can increase the efficiency of the construction. Apart from that, it also allows long span of structure. Only 200 mm deep profile allow 6 meters of span. Also, for FRR protection, it also allows adequate rating. And how to actually install this composite flooring system? Firstly, we have to fix the metal decking on structural steel beams at predetermined points by welding or fastener. Then we can install the shear connector by welding and also concreting with lightweight concrete on the decking. Additional rubber might be added if required. Strengthening works might include adding secondary beams or enlarging beams. Adding steel beams are more convenient and feasible than concrete ones. Also, external bonded system might be considered, such as the steel plate bonding on the column and also spraying some fiber reinforced polymer onto the column. One of the options for structural strengthening is carrying out sectional enlargement by RC jacketing. We shall ensure good bonding between the newly added layers and the existing concrete surfaces. Even though it saves more space than adding columns, it also have a lot of disadvantages. Due to its extensive level of surface preparation, it is more expensive and time-consuming. Another method of structural strengthening is carrying out external bonded system by adding steel plates out of beams or columns, these kind of structural elements. We should be aware of what kind of fixing method we'll be using. If it is under UV exposure, the epoxy may degrade over time, so mechanical fixing by anchor bolts might be more preferable. Another structural strengthening method is by the use of steel plate bonding. Firstly, we shall drill holes and cut the steel plates to the desired dimension. Secondly, we shall properly prepare the surface by removing all the plasters, finishes, or other contaminants on it, and then grind bare concrete surface by mechanical grinders. Then clean the surface of any loose materials by compressed air. Thirdly, the anchors shall be installed, which are using the anchors of not less than 20 mm in diameter and the depth shall not be less than 200 mm. Fourthly, the bearing plate with stiffeners might be needed for the columns so as to transfer the loading from the above floor to the below floor. Then we have to inject some epoxy resin through the injection hole so as to have a better bonding. Last but not least, proper curing is needed as well. Covering all contents with fantastic quality is a bit challenging for me at this stage. I apologize if any aspect fell short of your expectations. Your feedback and inputs are valuable to me. If there's any specific topic you'd like me to explore further, or if you like any other video diving deeper for the same topic with more case studies, please let me know. Also, if you have expertise or insights related to the topic just covered, I warmly welcome your contribution in the comments down below. This channel is all about learning and sharing knowledge, so I am grateful to learn from any one of you. Remember, you can also check out the playlist next to this video for more in-depth contents on related topics. Thank you again for joining me on this lifelong learning journey. Stay curious, stay inspired, and stay tuned for more exciting content.